Mia's time travel adventure to Chola, India, 1400. What if you woke up 600 years in the past, surrounded by chaos, with only your modern knowledge to save an empire from collapse? Meet Mia Harper, a 24-year-old American hacker from Silicon Valley, who stumbles through a glitch in time and lands in the vibrant, perilous world of India's Chola dynasty in 1400. A single misstep could doom her, or an entire kingdom. In this thrilling tale, you'll discover how Mia's 21st-century tech-savvy battles ancient intrigue, unravels a mysterious time machine, and faces a king's ultimatum that could change history. Will she outsmart the past or become its prisoner? Stick around to uncover secrets that will leave you questioning time itself and craving more. The sun scorched the cracked earth of Silicon Valley as Mia Harper hunched over her laptop in a dimly lit San Francisco coffee shop, her fingers dancing across the keyboard like a maestro conducting a symphony. At 24, she was a legend in the dark corners of the internet, a hacker who could slip through the tightest cybersecurity nets, her name whispered in awe on encrypted forums. Her latest gig? Cracking a shady crypto exchange for a client who paid in untraceable Bitcoin. But today something was off. The code on her screen flickered, glitched, then pulsed with an eerie green glow. What the hell? Mia muttered, her hazel eyes narrowing. She tapped a key, and the world around her dissolved into a blinding vortex of light. When her vision cleared, the coffee shop was gone. The air was thick with the scent of sandalwood and sweat, the hum of laptops replaced by the clatter of ox carts and the rhythmic chant of temple priests. Mia stood in a bustling marketplace, her ripped jeans and Nirvana t-shirt drawing stares from men in dhodas and women in vibrant silk saris. Towering stone gopurams loomed in the distance, their intricate carvings glinting under a relentless sun. She was no longer in 2025 San Francisco. This was the Chola Empire, South India, 1400, a world of spice traders, warrior kings, and a commerce system teetering on the edge of disaster. Mia's heart pounded as she clutched her laptop, miraculously still in her hands, its battery icon blinking at 87%. "Okay, Mia, don't freak out," she whispered to herself, her voice barely audible over the cacophony of haggling merchants and bleating goats. She scanned the chaotic market. Stalls overflowed with saffron, pepper, and pearls, but the traders' faces were tense, their arguments heated. Piles of mismatched ledgers, crude palm leaf records, littered the ground, smeared with ink and riddled with errors. The Chola Empire's trade network, the lifeblood of its wealth, was choking on its own inefficiency. Ports from Tanjore to Nagapattinam were losing fortunes as shipments vanished, prices fluctuated wildly, and merchants accused each other of fraud. If this mess wasn't fixed, the empire's economy could collapse, plunging millions into poverty and sparking rebellions that would rewrite history. Mia's tech instincts kicked in. In her world, she'd untangled worse, hacked Pentagon servers, debugged blockchain ledgers, even rerouted a drone mid-flight for a dare. But here, no Wi-Fi, no cloud, no Stack Overflow. Just her laptop, and a brain wired for problem-solving. As she dodged a cart piled high with mangoes, a wild idea sparked. What if she could digitize the Chola's trade system, streamline their records, track their shipments, maybe even introduce a primitive database? The thought made her grin. She'd be the world's first time-traveling tech consultant. But danger lurked in the shadows. A pair of sharp-eyed guards in bronze armor watched her every move, their hands resting on curved swords. Whispers rippled through the crowd. "Foreigner, strange device spy." Mia's stomach churned. She wasn't just out of place, she was a target. Her modern knowledge was her greatest weapon, but also her greatest risk. If she could convince the Cholas to trust her, she might save their empire and secure her own survival. If not, she'd be branded a sorceress or worse, locked away in a dungeon where her laptop would be as useful as a brick. As Mia slipped through the market, her mind raced. How had she ended up here? Was it the glitch in her code, or something deeper? A hidden force pulling her across centuries? And more importantly, could she get back? The answers lay somewhere in this ancient world, buried in the chaos of its markets and the secrets of its rulers. For now, Mia Harper, hacker extraordinaire, had a mission: fix the Chola's broken trade system, win over a skeptical kingdom, and uncover the truth behind her impossible journey. The clock was ticking, both on her laptop's battery and her fate. Mia's adventure is just beginning, and it's packed with twists that will keep you on the edge of your seat. In the next part, watch her charm skeptical merchants with her ancient Amazon plan, only to face accusations of espionage that could land her in chains. You'll be hooked as she navigates a world where her tech skills are both a blessing and a curse, unraveling mysteries that hint at a time travel conspiracy. Stay tuned to see if Mia can hack history itself, or if history will hack her first. What happens when a Silicon Valley hacker tries to sell a 15th century empire on a digital revolution? Mia Harper, our 24-year-old time-displaced American, is about to find out. Stranded in the Chola Empire of 1400, she's armed with a dying laptop and a plan to save a crumbling trade system. But in a world of spice lords, suspicious priests, and sharp-eyed spies, her modern ideas spark both awe and danger. In this electrifying chapter, Mia's charm and tech wizardry clash with ancient traditions, igniting a high-stakes gamble that could crown her a hero or brand her a traitor. Buckle up for a whirlwind of intrigue, betrayal, and a sultry dance of wits that will leave you desperate for more. The Chola marketplace pulsed with life, a chaotic symphony of clinking coins, shouted bargains, and the clatter of ox carts grinding through the dusty streets of Tanjore. Mia Harper weaved through the crowd, her Nirvana t-shirt sticking to her skin in the humid South Indian heat. Her laptop, tucked under her arm like a sacred relic, drew curious glances and muttered prayers from passers-by who mistook it for a magical slab. Her mind buzzed with the challenge ahead. The Chola's trade system was a mess, palm leaf ledgers riddled with errors, shipments lost in transit, and merchants on the verge of revolt. If she could streamline it, she might not only save the empire's economy, but also carve out a place for herself in this strange new world. But first, she had to convince a skeptical crowd that a 24-year-old American woman with no status, no allies, and a glowing box wasn't a threat. Mia spotted her first target, a burly merchant named Vikram, his stall overflowing with sacks of pepper and cardamom. His ledger, a pile of tattered palm leaves, looked like it had been through a monsoon. "Perfect," Mia muttered, her lips curling into a confident smirk. She approached, dodging a stray goat, and flashed her best Silicon Valley pitch smile. "Hey, Vikram, right? Your books are a disaster. Ever thought about digitizing your inventory?" She winced internally. Digitizing wasn't exactly a 1400s buzzword. Vikram's bushy brows furrowed, his hand inching toward a dagger at his belt. "Who are you, foreigner? And what sorcery is that?" He pointed at her laptop, his voice a mix of suspicion and intrigue. Time to pivot. Mia opened her laptop, the screen's glow casting an otherworldly light on Vikram's weathered face. "This," she said, her voice low and conspiratorial, "is like an Amazon for your market. A way to track every grain of rice, every pearl, every ship from here to Sri Lanka. No more lost cargo, no more fights over prices." She tapped a few keys, pulling up a mock spreadsheet she'd thrown together during a sleepless night in her makeshift hut. Rows of numbers danced across the screen, tracking hypothetical shipments from Nagapattinam to Malacca. Vikram leaned closer, his suspicion melting into fascination. This counts faster than 10 scribes," he murmured. Mia grinned. "Exactly. Stick with me, and you'll be the Jeff Bezos of the Chola Empire." Word of Mia's magic slab spread like wildfire. By noon, a crowd of merchants, Rajan from Chennai, Lakshmi from Madurai, even a grizzled sea captain named Arjun, clustered around her, peppering her with questions. She spun tales of a future where trade flowed like a well-coded app, painting vivid pictures of ships tracked in real time and profit soaring. Her confidence was infectious, her American accent laced with a playful charm that disarmed even the grumpiest traders. Lakshmi, a sharp-tongued spice merchant with coal-lined eyes, laughed and called Mia's system the Amazon of the ancients. The nickname stuck, and Mia leaned into it, joking about 2 days shipping by ox cart. The market buzzed with excitement, but not everyone was charmed. In the shadows of a temple gateway, 2 figures watched Mia's impromptu pitch. One was a wiry priest named Devon, his shaved head gleaming under a saffron turban. The other was a tall, hawkish man in ornate armor, Captain Sanjay, head of the king's guard. She speaks of machines and numbers like a sorceress, Devon hissed, his fingers clutching a string of prayer beads. Sanjay's eyes narrowed. Or a spy. Her clothes, her tongue, they're not of this land. And that device, it could be a weapon. Devon nodded, his voice dripping with venom. The king must know. If she disrupts the old ways, the gods will turn against us. Mia, oblivious to their scheming, was too busy winning over merchants, her laughter ringing out as she taught Arjun to type his name on her keyboard. By dusk, Mia had a small army of converts. Vikram offered her a room above his stall. Lakshmi slipped her a gold bangle as thanks, and Arjun promised to introduce her to the portmaster. But as the market emptied and the stars glittered over Tanjore's gopurams, trouble arrived. Captain Sanjay and his guard stormed into Vikram's stall, their swords gleaming in the torchlight. Mia Harper, Sanjay barked, his voice cutting through the evening calm. You are summoned to the palace. The king wishes to know who this Amazon witch is, and why she meddles in our trade. Mia's stomach dropped. Her laptop, now at 62% battery, felt heavier in her hands. The merchants fell silent, their earlier enthusiasm replaced by fear. Lakshmi whispered, Be careful, Mia. The king does not trust foreigners. The palace was a fortress of carved stone and flickering oil lamps, its halls echoing with the chants of priests and the clink of royal guards' armor. Mia, escorted by Sanjay's men, felt like she was walking into a lion's den. Her sneakers squeaked on the polished floor, a stark contrast to the barefoot courtiers who stared at her with a mix of awe and suspicion. At the heart of the throne room sat King Rajendra Chola, a towering figure with a gaze that could pierce steel. His crown glinted with rubies, but his expression was grim. You claim to fix our trade, he said, his voice low and commanding. Yet my advisors call you a spy. Prove your worth, or you'll rot in my dungeons. Mia swallowed hard, her mind racing. This was her moment, her pitch to end all pitches. She opened her laptop, the screen's glow illuminating the throne room like a beacon. Your Majesty, she began, her voice steady despite the sweat trickling down her spine. Your empire is bleeding wealth because your records are a mess. I can fix it. Give me 2 days, and I'll build a system to track every ship, every coin, every deal from Tanjore to the Spice Islands. She clicked through her mock database, showing clean rows of data that made the court scribes gasp. This is power, she said, locking eyes with the king. The power to save your empire. Rajendra leaned forward, intrigued but unconvinced. 2 days, he said, his voice like thunder. Succeed, and you'll have my favor. Fail, and you'll face my wrath. He gestured to Sanjay, who stepped closer, his sword still sheathed but his presence menacing. Captain Sanjay will watch your every move. 1 hint of treachery, and your magic slab will be burned with you. As Mia was led to a guarded chamber to begin her work, her heart raced with a mix of fear and exhilaration. She had 48 hours to turn her laptop into a miracle, or a death sentence. The merchant's faith in her Amazon of the ancients was her only lifeline, but Sanjay's cold stare and Devon's whispered prayers to the gods reminded her of the stakes. And then there was the nagging question. How had she ended up here? The glitch in her code, the vortex of light. It felt too precise, too deliberate. Was someone, or something, pulling the strings across time? That night, as Mia worked by candlelight, inputting trade data into her laptop, Vikram slipped into her chamber with a warning. Be wary, Mia, he whispered, his eyes darting to the door. Devon claims your device angers the gods. He's rallying the priests against you. Mia's fingers paused on the keyboard. Let them try, she said, her voice fierce. I've hacked tougher systems than a priest's ego. But as Vikram left, a shadow moved outside her window, a figure clutching a strange, metallic object that glinted like nothing in 1400. Was a weapon, a relic, or, her breath caught, part of the time machine that had brought her here? Mia's on the clock, racing to save an empire while dodging accusations of sorcery and espionage. The tension is electric as she battles time, tradition, and a mysterious figure who might hold the key to her journey. In the next part, watch her face the king's impossible deadline under Sanjay's watchful eye, uncover a shocking clue about her time travel mystery, and push her hacker skills to the limit. Will she pull off a miracle, or will the Chola's wrath, or a hidden enemy, bring her down? Stay tuned for a heart-pounding showdown that will leave you gasping. What do you do when a king's ultimatum, a ticking laptop battery, and a shadowy time travel conspiracy all threaten to unravel your existence? Mia Harper, our 24-year-old Silicon Valley hacker, is trapped in the Chola Empire of 1400, with just 48 hours to save a crumbling trade system or face a dungeon's darkness. Under the hawk-like gaze of Captain Sanjay and the whispers of a vengeful priest, Mia's modern tech skills are pushed to their limits as she battles to prove her worth. But a glinting artifact and a cryptic warning hint at a deeper secret, one that could rewrite her fate and the Empire's future. Get ready for a pulse-pounding showdown where every keystroke is a gamble, every glance is a risk, and the truth about Mia's time travel odyssey explodes into view. This is the moment where history hangs in the balance, and you won't want to miss a single second. The air in Mia Harper's guarded chamber was thick with the scent of burning oil and the faint hum of her laptop, now at a perilous 42% battery. The stone walls of the Chola Palace in Tanjore seemed to close in around her, amplifying the weight of King Rajendra's command. Fix the Empire's trade ledgers in 2 days or face imprisonment. Mia's fingers flew across her keyboard, her screen a chaotic mosaic of spreadsheets tracking shipments from Nagapattinam to Malacca, inventories of saffron and pearls, and merchant debts stretching from Chennai to Sri Lanka. Her Amazon of the Ancients was taking shape, a database that could revolutionize the Chola economy. But time was her enemy, and she wasn't alone. Captain Sanjay leaned against the doorway, his bronze armor glinting in the flickering lamplight. His dark eyes never left Mia, his hand resting on the hilt of his curved sword. "Work faster, foreigner," he growled, his voice a low rumble. "The king does not tolerate failure." Mia shot him a defiant glance, her hazel eyes flashing. "I've hacked NSA servers in less time than this, buddy. Chill." Sanjay's brow furrowed. He didn't understand her slang, but her tone was enough to make his grip tighten. Behind him, the priest Devon hovered like a vulture, his saffron robe swishing as he muttered prayers to appease the gods Mia's sorcery might offend. Their scrutiny was suffocating, but Mia thrived under pressure. She'd faced tighter deadlines debugging code for Silicon Valley startups. This was just a 15th century crunch time. The first day passed in a blur of data entry and improvisation. Mia's laptop was her lifeline, but without modern infrastructure, she had to get creative. She trained Vikram, the burly pepper merchant, to act as her human API, relaying trade records from palm leaf ledgers to her in real time. Lakshmi, the spice trader with coal-lined eyes, slipped her extra candles and a sly wink, whispering, "You're rewriting our world, Mia. Don't let Sanjay scare you." Arjun, the sea captain, smuggled in port logs from Nagapattinam, his gruff voice tinged with awe as he watched Mia's screen transform his chaotic notes into clean columns. The merchant's trust fueled her, but the stakes were skyrocketing. If her system failed, the Empire's ports could grind to a halt, sparking riots and starvation. And Mia? She'd be lucky to see daylight again. As night fell, Mia's chamber became a crucible of tension. Her laptop battery dipped to 35%, and every percentage point felt like a countdown to doom. She'd optimized her code to run lean, but the sheer volume of data, thousands of transactions across a sprawling trade network, was overwhelming. Worse, Devon's whispers had spread. A crowd of priests gathered outside, chanting for her demon device to be destroyed. Their voices seeped through the walls, a haunting drone that made Mia's skin prickle. "Focus, Harper," she muttered, chugging a clay cup of spiced tea Lakshmi had snuck in. But then a shadow moved outside her window, a figure, cloaked and silent, clutching the same metallic object she'd glimpsed the night before. It glinted like polished steel, alien in this world of bronze and wood. Her heart skipped. Was it a weapon? A tool? Or, her breath caught, the key to her time travel mystery? The second day dawned with chaos. Sanjay burst into her chamber at sunrise, his face like thunder. "The king demands a demonstration tonight," he barked. "Your time is cut short. Fail, and you'll answer to the gods." Mia's stomach lurched. She had hours, not days, and her system was only half built. "You've got to be kidding me," she snapped. But Sanjay's glare silenced her. As he stormed out, Vikram slipped in with a warning. "Devin's spreading lies," he whispered. "He says your machine predicts the future, that it's a curse. He's pushing the king to arrest you now." Mia's jaw tightened. "Let him try. I'm not done yet." The hours blurred into a frenzy. Mia's fingers ached as she coded, her screen a lifeline in a sea of ancient chaos. She built a dashboard, simple, visual, something even a 1400s king could grasp, showing trade flows in real time. Bar charts tracked spice exports, line graphs mapped price trends, and a pie chart broke down port revenues. It was crude by Silicon Valley standards, but in Tanjore, it was magic. She taught Lakshmi and Arjun to input data, turning them into her makeshift tech team. Their excitement was electric, but the pressure was crushing. Sanjay's guard circled closer, and Devin's chants grew louder, now joined by a crowd of merchants who'd turned against her, spooked by tales of divine wrath. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Mia's laptop hit 20% battery. She was so close. Her system could track 80% of the Empire's trade, but bugs plagued her code. A shipment of pearls vanished from her database, and a pricing error sent her charts haywire. "Come on, you stupid machine," she hissed, slamming her fist on the table. That's when the cloaked figure reappeared. This time, they stepped into her chamber, hood falling to reveal a young woman with sharp cheekbones and eyes like midnight. "You're not from here," the woman said, her voice low and urgent. She held up the metallic object, a small, intricate device etched with symbols Mia didn't recognize. "This brought you, and it can take you back, but only if you finish what you started." Mia's heart raced. "Who are you? What is that thing?" The woman's lips curved into a cryptic smile. "Call me Tara. As for this," she tucked the device into her robe, "fix the king's ledgers, and I'll tell you everything." Before Mia could press further, Tara vanished into the shadows, leaving only questions. Was Tara a time traveler too? Was the device the time machine Mia had been chasing? The mystery lit a fire under her. She dove back into her code, debugging with a ferocity she'd never known. The bugs fell one by one, her charts snapping into clarity, just as Sanjay's boots echoed down the hall. The throne room was a cauldron of tension as Mia was marched in, her laptop clutched like a shield. King Rajendra sat on his ruby-encrusted throne, flanked by scowling advisors and a glowering Devin. The merchants, Vikram, Lakshmi, Arjun, and dozens more, crowded the hall, their faces a mix of hope and fear. Sanjay stood at Mia's side, his sword now drawn, a silent threat. "Show us your Amazon," Rajendra commanded, his voice cutting through the murmurs. "Prove it saves my empire, or your life is forfeit." Mia's hands trembled as she opened her laptop, its screen now at 15%. She clicked into her dashboard, projecting it onto a makeshift screen of stretched silk, a trick she'd rigged with Arjun's help. The room gasped as glowing charts filled the space, bars showing stabilized spice prices, lines tracking ship arrivals, a pie chart revealing untapped profits from Malacca. "This," Mia said, her voice steady despite her racing pulse, "is your trade network fixed. Every shipment, every coin, tracked in real time. No more losses, no more chaos." She clicked, and a live update showed a ship docking at Nagapattinam, its cargo logged instantly. The merchants cheered, but Devin's voice cut through like a blade. "Blasphemy," he shouted, pointing at the screen. "She manipulates the gods' will. Burn her device." The room erupted. Priests chanted, merchants argued, and Sanjay's sword inched closer to Mia's neck. Rajendra raised a hand, silencing the chaos. "Speak, Mia Harper," he said, his eyes locked on hers. "Why should I trust you?" Mia took a deep breath, her Silicon Valley bravado kicking in. "Because I've done what your scribes couldn't in a lifetime. This system will make your empire richer than ever. And if you burn me, you burn your future." She clicked one last time, revealing a projection, If her system scaled, Chola's trade could double in a year. The room fell silent, even Devon faltering. Rajendra stood, his presence commanding. "You have proven your worth," he declared. "Your Amazon will be implemented." The merchants roared in approval, Lakshmi flashing Mia a triumphant grin. But as guards escorted Mia back to her chamber, Tara appeared again, her voice a whisper. "You've won this battle, but the war isn't over. The device, it's not what you think." She slipped Mia a tiny, metallic fragment etched with a symbol that matched her laptop's glitch. "Find me tomorrow," Tara said, vanishing as Sanjay's boots approached. Mia's triumph is just the beginning. Her chart saved the day, but Tara's cryptic warning and that mysterious fragment hint at a time travel conspiracy that could shake the Chola Empire and Mia's reality to its core. In the final part, watch Mia grapple with a royal honor, a merchant's shocking revelation, and a choice that could trap her in 1400 forever or send her hurtling back to 2025. Will she uncover the truth behind the time machine, or will history claim her as its own? Stay tuned for a finale that will leave your heart racing and your mind spinning. What if the key to your survival lies in a choice that could unravel time itself? Mia Harper, our 24-year-old Silicon Valley hacker, has just saved the Chola Empire's economy with her Amazon of the Ancients, earning a king's favor and a dangerous spotlight. But as she basks in her victory, a mysterious woman named Tara and a strange metallic fragment hint at a deeper truth behind her time travel odyssey. Is Mia a pawn in a cosmic game, or the master of her own destiny? In this heart-pounding finale, secrets unravel, stakes soar, and a shocking revelation leaves Mia, and you, teetering on the edge of history. With an open ending that will ignite your curiosity, this chapter will leave you desperate for the next installment. Don't miss the twist that will have you racing to my channel for what's next. The Chola Palace in Tanjore glittered under the morning sun, its towering gopurams casting long shadows over the bustling courtyard. Mia Harper stood before King Rajendra Chola, her laptop, now at a precarious 10% battery, tucked under her arm like a warrior's shield. The throne room buzzed with energy, merchants like Vikram and Lakshmi beaming with pride, while Captain Sanjay's scowl softened into grudging respect. Even the priest Devon, once her fiercest critic, stood silent, cowed by the glowing charts that had saved the Empire's trade network. Mia's Amazon of the Ancients had done the impossible, streamlined the Chola's chaotic ledgers, stabilized prices from Nagapattinam to Malacca, and averted an economic collapse that could have sparked riots across South India. The air crackled with triumph, but Mia's pulse raced with a different kind of tension. The metallic fragment Tara had slipped her last night burned in her pocket, its etched symbols whispering of a mystery she couldn't ignore. King Rajendra rose from his ruby-encrusted throne, his presence commanding silence. "Mia Harper," he declared, his voice echoing through the hall, "you have brought order to our markets and wealth to our people. For this, I name you Arthashastra, keeper of the treasury." The crowd erupted in cheers, Lakshmi's coal-lined eyes sparkling as she clapped, and Vikram let out a booming laugh. A silk robe, heavy with gold embroidery, was draped over Mia's shoulders, her Nirvana t-shirt now a relic beneath the opulent garb. The title came with a chamber in the palace, a retinue of scribes, and a seat at the king's council, an honor that made Mia's head spin. From Silicon Valley hacker to Chola royalty in days, it was the ultimate glow-up. But as she bowed, her fingers brushed the fragment in her pocket, and Tara's words echoed. "The device, it's not what you think." That night, a feast was held in Mia's honor. The palace courtyard glowed with oil lamps, their flames dancing in the warm breeze. Tables groaned under platters of spiced rice, roasted mangoes, and fish curry that made Mia's mouth water. Musicians strummed venas, their melodies weaving through the laughter of merchants and courtiers. Lakshmi, radiant in a crimson sari, pulled Mia into a dance, her movements fluid and teasing. "You're one of us now, Arthashastra," she purred, her breath warm against Mia's ear. Mia laughed, spinning under the stars, her sneakers scuffing the stone floor. For a moment, she let herself forget the ticking battery, the suspicious glares of Devon's priests, and the weight of the fragment. But the moment shattered when Arjun, The grizzled sea captain approached, his face grave. "Mia," Arjun whispered, pulling her to a shadowed corner of the courtyard. "There's something you need to know." His eyes darted to the crowd, ensuring Sanjay's guards weren't near. "That woman, Tara, she's no merchant. I saw her last night, near the old temple, with a man who spoke of a machine that bends time." Mia's heart stopped. She pulled the metallic fragment from her pocket, its surface catching the lamplight. "This?" she asked, her voice barely audible. Arjun's eyes widened. "Where did you get that?" "It's part of something ancient, something hidden beneath the palace. They say it's cursed, or divine." Mia's mind raced. A time machine. Here in 1400? The glitch in her laptop, the vortex that brought her here. It couldn't be coincidence. But before Arjun could say more, a guard's shout sent him slipping back into the crowd. Mia's triumph was unraveling into a new mystery. She slipped away from the feast, her silk robe swishing as she navigated the palace's labyrinthine halls. Her laptop, now at 8%, was her only tool to decode the fragment symbols. In her chamber, she scanned the fragment under candlelight, her heart pounding as she recognized one symbol, a binary-like pattern, impossibly modern for this era. She opened her laptop, running a quick script to cross-reference the symbols against her code archives. The results sent a chill down her spine. The pattern matched a quantum encryption key she'd seen in a 2025 DARPA leak. "No way," she whispered. This wasn't just a time machine. It was tech from her time, or beyond. But who had built it? Tara? The Cholas? Or something else? As Mia wrestled with the implications, Tara appeared, stepping from the shadows like a ghost. Her dark eyes glittered with urgency, her robe concealing the mysterious device. "You're close, Mia," she said, her voice low and sultry. "The fragment is part of a chronometer, a machine that controls time. It brought you here for a reason." Mia's grip tightened on her laptop. "What reason? And who the hell are you?" Tara's smile was enigmatic. "I'm like you, a traveler. But the chronometer isn't mine. It's guarded by someone in this palace, someone who knows you're not from this time." She leaned closer, her breath warm. "You have a choice. Stay as Arthashastra, rule this empire's wealth, and risk being trapped forever, or find the chronometer and go home. But that means facing its guardian." Before Mia could demand answers, Sanjay's voice boomed from the hallway. "Arthashastra, the king summons you." Tara vanished, leaving only the echo of her warning. Mia's heart raced as she hid the fragment and followed Sanjay to the throne room. Rajendra waited, but his expression was no longer warm. "A merchant claims you stole a sacred relic," he said, holding up a sketch of the fragment. Devon stepped forward, his eyes gleaming with malice. "She conspires with demons to control time itself," he hissed. The room spun. Mia's triumph was crumbling, her title now a trap. She clutched her laptop, its battery at 5%, and made a split-second choice. "Your Majesty," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos. "I'll find your relic and prove my loyalty. Give me one night." Rajendra's gaze bore into her. "One night," he agreed. "But if you fail, even your Amazon won't save you." As guards escorted her back, Mia's mind churned. The chronometer, Tara, the fragment. It all pointed to a hidden chamber beneath the palace. She had hours to find it, decode its secrets, and decide. Stay in 1400 as a revered but hunted Arthashastra, or risk everything to return to 2025. The fragment in her pocket felt heavier, its symbols a ticking clock of their own. Mia's story ends on a knife's edge, with a time machine tantalizingly close and a guardian lurking in the shadows. Will she uncover the chronometer and escape to 2025, or embrace her new life as the Chola's financial queen? And who, or what, is pulling the strings of time? This open ending is just the beginning of Mia's saga, packed with twists that will keep you guessing. Head to my channel for the next installment, where secrets unravel, and Mia's choice could change history forever. Don't miss it. Subscribe and stay tuned for a journey through time that will blow your mind.